So in the last class we have discussed the linear regressions and the, the update rule of gradient descent algorithm, which is also known as least mean square algorithm, because the cost function is, we have considered the cost function as hx h theta x minus y the whole square, half of this. This was the cost function that we have considered. Okay, and it is known as least mean square algorithm or gradient descent algorithm. Also we have discussed two different kind of algorithms. One is batch gradient descent, another is stochastic gradient descent. These are the update rule for updating the weight of the associated features. Okay, so last day I had told that what is the reason to consider this cost function as half of h theta x minus y the whole square. The general concept to consider this as, see, this is the output that we have got from our function h theta x. This is hypothesis functions. So if y equals to h theta x, if this is our hypothesis function where x are the features, and we will put some values, associated values with this, and after doing some operations here we will get some value for y. So y, we are having a database here corresponding x values here, let x1 x2 dot dot xn, n number of features are there, and y is the corresponding output. So then what we will get for a corresponding value of x1 x2 xn, we are having a value y. Now after putting these values here in h theta x that we have designed or we have chosen as the hypothesis function, we must get y. If this function is correct, 100% correct, then we should get y for this. If not, then there is a difference between h theta x that we have got and this y. Okay, so we can say that this is y and this is y cap or something like this. Y is given and y cap you have got from your algorithm. So this is the difference, or we can say this is the error. Okay, so in this way we can write the error, we can define the error as, let y is the output that we are considering or we are expecting, which must be equals to h theta x. So h theta x we have considered theta transpose x plus epsilon. This is for a single value of x and y. Okay, so y must be equals to the output returned from your hypothesis function plus epsilon, the error injected here. So if this error is 0, then your function is 100% correct. If not, then our target is to minimize this error, and we have already done that, how to minimize this error by using the gradient descent algorithm. Okay, now if we are having m number of data in the data set, okay, m number of data in the data set, then we will say that this value, the ith y, is equals to theta transpose ith row of x, that is feature vector, and the corresponding error. Okay, this should be the equation. So we can put this equation as the output. Okay, right. Now what is the nature of this error? Suppose we have considered a set of data, intentionally we have considered a set of data such that this y always will be equals to h theta x. If we consider a set of data where always this difference will be very high, then what we can say, that we are intentionally choosing the records to make these values either y equals to h theta x and y is far away from h theta x. So we will not say that epsilon is randomly selected. Okay, so now for a general value or any real life applications, there must be some random selection of the variables. So what does it means? Random, if we select the variables randomly, then this error term is also random, and we can say this error is independently and identically distributed. So we can say this is independently identically distributed. So what does it means? It means that there is no dependency within this x, y and epsilon. So epsilon is not dependent at all with any or on the any of the variables. So we can say that this distribution of epsilon is a normal distribution. Normal distribution. So obviously our variable epsilon must follow the property of Gaussian or normal distributions. Now those who are aware, they can if you have forgot this, then you can just recapitulate that the property of normal distribution is the mean is 0 with for some variance sigma square. So 0 means sigma square is the variance. This is the property of or what we can say the sufficient statistics of any normal distributions. Okay, sufficient statistics of any normal distribution. So we can say that epsilon belongs to normal distributions 0 sigma square variance. Okay, right. So the PDF function of epsilon is given as the probability density function of epsilon is given as 1 by root 2 pi sigma square. This is given, just you recapitulate your statistics once more. You can find that the probability density function of any normal distribution is like this: 1 by root of 2 pi sigma square e to the power minus, this variable is here epsilon, so the random variable is this square by 2 sigma square. Okay, this is the probability density functions of a normal distributions with the random variable epsilon. Okay, this one. So now what we can say, epsilon is following the normal distributions with mean 0 and the variance sigma square with the probability density function p epsilon is equals to this. So we can put a mark here. Okay, now we know that epsilon is equals to y. If we replace this equation 1 here, equation 1, the epsilon equals to y minus theta transpose x. In equations 2, we will get that the probability of getting an y for a given x parameterized on theta. This is not the conditional, okay, probability. This is as we are finding the probability of getting an y for a given x parameterized, where x is parameterized on theta. That will be equals to 1 by root 2 pi sigma square e to the power minus, just we are replacing this value, y minus theta transpose x the square by 2 sigma square. Okay, just you say this value here. right? So y minus theta transpose x square by 2 sigma square. Okay. Now what we can say, the probability of, let us write once again, probability of y for a given x probability of y for a given x parameterized on theta is equals to 1 by root 2 pi sigma square e to the power minus y minus h theta x whole square by 2 sigma square. Here h theta x can be replaced as theta transpose x. Okay, theta transpose x. So we can write this value as, from here what we can say, that y for a given x parameterized on theta belongs to the normal distribution theta transpose x sigma square. So since the epsilon is following the normal distribution, therefore y also will follow the normal distribution. Okay, right. So again, as last class we have discussed, the likelihood function means, suppose there are two variables x1 and x2. This x1 will be more likely to x2. That means the difference between x1 and x2 is nearly 0. If these two are not alike, then this will be much greater than 0, the difference. So our target is to find the likelihood between y and theta transpose x, right? Our target is to find the likelihood of between y and theta transpose x. So we can say that L theta, which is likelihood function of L theta is equals to pi. That is, obviously we will check the difference between all these, say y and y1, that is the first record, and theta transpose x1 first record, then y2 theta transpose x2, and so on, ym theta transpose xm. All these values will be checked. Okay, and the difference between these two, the probabilistic difference between these two, will be multiplied with each other. Then only we will be able to say that whether our function is correct or not. So we are considering the product of the probability of getting an y for a given x parameterized on theta. This product will be I equals to 1 to m. Okay, so we just replace this value here, this one, that will be equals to pi I equals to 1 to m 1 by root 2 pi sigma square e to the power minus y minus theta transpose x whole square by 2 sigma square. Okay, right? Okay. So again, the target is to find the maximum likelihood of this function L theta. Now the problem is that if we go for finding the optimum solution of this product term, it will be very complicated. So if we can apply any positive function here, okay, so then we can say that if any positive function, say f L theta, is maximum when L theta is maximum. F of L theta is minimum when L theta is minimum, and the vice versa. So instead of finding the maximum likelihood of L theta, what we can say, we can apply any positive function f L theta to simplify this, and we can get the maximum likelihood. So for the value for which f L theta will also be optimum, or here in this case it is maximum. So instead of finding the maximum likelihood, we are applying the log likelihood of L theta, which is denoted as small l theta. Okay, small l theta, and that will be equals to log of pi I equals to 1 to m 1 by root 2 pi sigma square e to the power minus y theta transpose x whole square by 2 sigma square. Okay, right. Then if we apply the log here, what we will get? First, this product term will be equivalent to or converted to the sum. Therefore here we can write log of pi I equals to 1 to right. So this term will be equals to sigma. So sum of I equals to 1 to m log of 1 by root 2 pi sigma square e to the power minus y minus theta transpose x whole square by 2 sigma square. So it will be log of a into log of b, so log a plus log b. So we can write sum of log of 1 by root 2 pi sigma square this value equals to I equals to 1 to m plus log of, that is sum of I equals to 1 to m log of e to the power minus y minus theta transpose x whole square by 2 sigma square. So that is equals to, if we iterate this m terms, so we will get, since this is not dependent on m, therefore we can write this equals to m log of 1 by root 2 pi sigma square. Now this log of e to the power, this means this terms, so we will get minus 1 by sigma square into half sum of I equals to 1 to m y minus theta transpose x the whole square. Okay, see, this term equals to this one. So m log of this, m times this term minus log of e to the power, this means this term, so we are getting half of 1 by sigma square. So here, for the use of better understanding, I have written like 1 by sigma square, then 1 by 2, nothing else. Now think about this log L theta, that is small l theta, is maximum if this term here sigma is not dependent on your data set because it is the variance. Similarly, this term is independent of your data set, right? This term is also independent of your data set. Now the question is, only the factor which can determine the likelihood or the value of L theta, log likelihood, is this one. So L theta is maximum if we write this as j theta, if j theta is minimum. Okay, therefore from here you can check that our cost function was j theta is equals to half of sum yi minus theta transpose xi. This is for m number of terms, I equals to 1 to m. For a single data set, it will be yi minus theta transpose x. Okay. So now hope you have understood that why we have considered the cost function is this one. So next class we will discuss about the another regression which is known as logistic regression, or in another sense we can say that the classification algorithm. Okay, right.